This is a dirty game, bro. And what I've always said is all is fair in love, war, and challenges, 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 and challenges.
So, have you been keeping up in the news today?
What part of the news? Depends.
They gave R. Kelly a 30 fucking years.
I saw that in passing, but I didn't kind of check too much into it. It's what he deserves for being a dirty, skeezy old man.
Oh, no, I'm not advocating. He should get it less time. But damn, 30 fucking years.
Isn't he already like 50?
Yeah, he's probably going to die in there.
As he should.
And then the Epstein chick, Ghislaine Maxwell, she only got 20.
Oh, she was an accomplice. So they never get as much time, even though she probably should.
Jesus. 30. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think it was going to be 30 years, though.
I mean, is that the federal case, or is that just because I know there's different states that are going after him, too? So
Chicago is going after him. And the one he got convicted for was federal. I think Chicago said they're going to drop the state charges if the federal sentencing was long enough. And I think this would constitute as long enough.
You never know.
I think that I was just thinking that it was going to be not 30 years. I think I had like 10 years in my head or something like that. So I was like, 30 years? God damn. Not saying he deserves a second less. But yeah, that was a shock. So,
well, if you think about it, how long has he been doing this?
I'm fine with him getting 30 years. I'm fine with him never seeing the light of day again, ever. You mess with children, I'm totally okay with that. Yeah. So 30 years, God damn, 30. I would have learned my lesson as soon as they said 30 years. I
honestly am glad that, you know, because you see a lot of these times people get away with things like this.
People have gotten away with shit like this for a long time. I mean, there's numerous, musicians and artists, and going back, and you can see they used to mess with 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds. I know a lot of people say it was a different time then, but ain't that different?
Didn't Elvis marry a 14-year-old? Wasn't like...
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It was something like that. But damn, 30 years. God damn. Well, should have done what he did.
It is what it is. It's what you get for messing with little girls.
So, so much to get into today. Such a wonderful fucking episode. Are you ready to go ahead and jump into it?
Let's do it. I was actually really surprised that they're splitting it into two. I'm actually I'm not quite happily surprised.
I'm not surprised at all, especially if you have a overnight portion. I think that's kind of the best way to do it. And now I kind of see why those eliminations from last week was pushed over to this week, because that took care of most of the A block and it made a really exciting A block. So there's only 4 last I heard, there's only a handful of VIP Challenge Mania Chicago tickets left. Did you grab one?
I do not believe I'll be able to make it to the show. Because I have to work.
Oh, I'm there for the people. I'm there for, the people who always say what's up on Twitter, or, I'm there for the people. I'm there to put Twitter names to faces.
I know.
That's really my favorite part. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. Every time I run into Derek, it's always such a great time. He's
always wasted. By the time I get to him, he's always like, I'm Derek.
I'm not going to put up with any Kaczynski slander for today. You ready to go ahead and jump into it?
He gets on my nerves. I don't know what it is about him, but he just reminds me of like those really annoying, like, overexcited 10-year-old children who just make no sense, and all they're doing is jumping around and jumping on you, and you're trying to tell them to calm their shit and they just won't. It's just
you don't know, you're from Chicago. You don't know a lot of Polish people?
I'm Mexican. I know a lot of Mexican people.
Yeah, but Chicago's full of Polacks. Anyway.
But I don't stay around Chicago. That's not my area. I'm from the suburbs, and though there are a lot of Polish people, most of those Polish and Mexicans are very similar. We kind of keep to our own groupings.
Yeah, I get it. Don't interact too much with other races. I get it.
It's not this.
Okay. Anyway,
it's not like on. That. Jeez, why you gotta make it sound like that?
Before we jump into it, I want to give a big shout out to Game of Vev the God. Also want to give a big shout out to the Challenge Unbothered Facebook group. That is our home group. That's where we hang around. That's where we kick it. We're in other groups too, but this one feels like home. Big shout out to those guys over there and the Unchallenged podcast doing it over there. I also had a very nice interaction with the Final Alliance podcast. It's a challenge podcast that I wasn't aware of before. And so it was, I haven't listened to them yet, but I'm pretty sure they're awesome. I wanted to, give them a nice welcome to the show, even though it looks like they've been doing this for a while too. So big shout out Final Alliance podcast. Just want to say what's up to you guys. And I'm ready to kick this damn episode off. You ready to bring it in?
Let's do it.
Oh, also, I'm getting over a really fucking intense bout of coronavirus, and everything is just now starting to get cleared up. So if it sounds like I'm losing my voice a little bit or start to trail off at the end, don't panic. I'm fine. I'm retesting tomorrow, and I'm sure I'm going to be good. What's really good, pastors? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges. I am MTV Malik. She is Becky at Gift Master Bex. I really don't know what to say after that. I got to find a whole new saying.
Well, it's because everybody abandoned us. It's the gruesome twosome every week.
Oh, I'm sure Bananas will be back any day now.
Any day, I'm sure.
Any day now. Any day.
You talk to him all the time, right? Every other day, right?
Yeah.
Just got off the phone with him?
Expecting that phone to ring at any time. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this shit. We pick off right where last episode left off, and that is at the elimination called Light My Fire, which is pretty much pole wrestle, only you got to run over to a corner and light the pole on actual fire. So, great job. I see they picked up some things from this spy invasion thing that they had going on for a while. Where we left off, Derek decided that he is going to forego his rematch with Wes and pick Nehemiah because he wanted the easy way out. He wanted the easy way into the final. And that pissed off a lot of people. That really pissed off Nehemiah, who doesn't feel like he is the easier choice. It really pissed off Wes was chirping like a motherfucker. And Naya, who has developed a pretty decent bond with Nehemiah, was also pretty pissed off. These guys get into a battle and Nehemiah is keeping it close. In fact, not even close. He is flinging Derek. Now, Derek has been flung before, but usually he's holding on pretty tight, which is giving him the reputation that he has now as a elimination beast. So Nehemiah flings him, gets it free, scores, and gets the win. This is 1 of 1. Nehemiah has beat Derek. I got so much to say about this, but Becky, I'm going to go ahead and let you kick this one off. What do you make of Nehemiah taking down his nemesis for the past several seasons and Derek Kaczynski?
I honestly think that Derek underestimating Nehemiah and really going into this thing so uber confident really is what destroyed him. Because there's really only 2 ways that it'll go when you piss somebody off. They'll either beat your ass and he was flipping her around. I saw that. I was like, he's done. There's no way. And honestly, Derek hasn't done a pole wrestle since, what was that? Vendettas?
Yeah.
And that's a long time between then and now. And yeah, he still has a lot of heart and he still showed it. But, as you age, and I think Nehemiah really had that fire in his belly that he really wanted to win this. So I'm super proud. Yay! I love Nehemiah.
Super proud of Nehemiah. I know he always hear the chirps that he's only a champion because he won the worst season ever and only because of Big Easy died. He's not a real champion. None of those guys should have won, which is total bullshit. 2, him and Derek have this back and forth going on for a couple of seasons now, and to be called pretty much the easy one or the weak one or one that's easier to beat, that is for sure going to light him up. But also, some of the blame about this goes on Derek. Derek was in a position he is not usually is, and that was he wasn't the underdog. He always goes into these scraps. He's a smaller guy. He has to be super scrappy, and he's always taking down giants. That wasn't the case here. Here, he was the giant, and that's where his overconfidence really got into him. He probably thought that was going to be so easy, he got caught off guard.
I mean, he's a giant, like a mental giant, or he's just a giant because he's been known to be good at this games? What do you mean by giant?
I mean a giant as in, one, he's the reason why pole wrestle is famous. He has made several of these pretty famous. This is kind of his game. Also, he is a elimination beast. He is known for going in and taking down bigger guys. What I mean by giant is he's not the underdog. When you size him up 1-on-1, you don't automatically think that Nehemiah is going to walk away with this one.
I mean, him and Nehemiah are pretty close in size and height.
But pole wrestle, Derek has been here before. Derek is the king of pole wrestles. This one is built for him. And actually, having a smaller, more stout body really comes in handy. That's a lower center of gravity. You get that bar behind you and around your solar plexus. That's going to be real hard to yank away. And Derek is known to be really hard to yank that stick away from. So,
I mean, all things considered, do you think he would have beaten Wes? Or do you think Wes would have still won?
I think he would have probably had a better chance at Wes because his mindset would have been different. He thought he was going to go in there and just yank that pole away. And Nehemiah let him know, not fucking today, buddy. And so, don't get me wrong, anybody can fall at any time. I'm very proud the way Nehemiah played it off. You know, Derek, Wes was chirping a lot and he stuck it to him a little bit, which is totally okay. Because every time Derek wins, he gets real fucking chirpy too, which is not my favorite characteristic, but
Give me
I
those
get
stars.
it. Oh God. I mean, I would, like I said, I would hate to lose to this guy in tic-tac-toe, but I like the fact that he didn't make excuses. Nehemiah got his day. He took down his nemesis. Super proud of him. Nehemiah deserves all of the credit in the world.
Absolutely. Nehemiah did a great job. And he had, like, I think he really felt the power of the people behind him, because it seemed like everybody was cheering him on. Because you saw when he finally, when he really flipped Derek, everybody except for Mark cheered, and they were all super excited.
Well, absolutely. Taking Derek out before the final is not going to be a bad thing. So moving on to the female part of the elimination, and it went down exactly how I thought it was going to go down. TJ plays it up so much, he lines them up, gets them to lean forward, acts like he's about to blow the horn, and then tells them, well, we already lost Veronica, so you ladies are off the hook tonight. And all reality, for you to do well in this season of All-Stars, if you have a vagina, is you really just had to stay healthy. A decent percentage of challengers were gone just due to injuries and other personal matters. So these ladies, after chirping, I mean, if I was a challenge, I would still let this go down just for the sheer drama of it. These two have been going at it back and forth. The treehouse has been decimated. Kellyanne is also on her own. Man, you might as well let those girls scrap it out.
They've been asking for it.
Yeah, but knowing that there was only 4 ladies left, I was just like, it was going to be, it wouldn't have worked out. So we get to keep both.
Listen, I was waiting. The fact that she went home, I was like, there's not going to be a female elimination. Why is everybody freaking out? There's no need. They haven't had one when someone's gone home. I don't understand where their mindset's like, oh no, I have to go into elimination. You're not going to have to go in. And then literally when he got him set up, I was like, what is this? Like, is he trying to be smart? Like, is this like a weird ass twist? And then he started giggling and I was like, this motherfucker. Okay.
This
There's no fucking
motherfucker
limit.
right here.
I was like, I knew you guys weren't going to do this. Don't fuck with me. I know my brain.
Exactly. TJ over there thinking he's funny. So,
Ass.
no female elimination. Nehemiah returns. TJ brings everybody all down and says, is everybody ready for the next challenge? So the next daily is going to take place right there on the spot. They're going to play a game of Wall of Fame. So I guess earlier in this season, TJ told all of the competitors that there's a wall in the house of everybody going to the finals, make sure you take a trip down memory lane, yada, yada, yada. And all of these are not exactly significant moments, but, they captured something that the challengers was doing at the time. And so all of the questions on this puzzle is, who was the one eating taquitos? Who was the one on a bike? Yada, yada, yada. It's funny because Wes finishes this in like a split second, and he says something funny. He says, he doesn't have to keep throwing, he doesn't have to keep pretending like he's mere mortal or keep throwing challenges. He's like, we're headed to the final now. Now I can go ahead and turn it up. And I remember Nehemiah said something like this a couple episodes ago, and I was just like, yeah, bullshit. And when Wes said it, it's like, was he keeping some stuff in the tank? or is he also full of shit? And I actually question it a little bit. I really don't know which way to lean when it comes to that.
With Wes?
With Wes, you never know.
I honestly can see him leaving this in the tank and running because he's a mental player.
He said no more sandbagging. That's what he said. No more sandbagging dailies.
I mean, let's be honest. If anybody would do it, it would be Wes. Right?
And
I could see it.
I don't know.
Fucking Wes.
Yeah, it could really go either way. Nehemiah gets his in second. Mark gets third. For the ladies, Janae gets hers. And then Kayla takes a couple steps back from her puzzle, peeks in Naya's general direction, and she is obviously cheating to get ahead. Cheating. Naya notices this and calls her out for being a cheater, and she gets fucking hot. She is pissed. Super pissed. Kellyanne gets her done. Brad and Naya are going to come in last. And so now we're being told that they're going to go to the final, and they're going to start the final in the order of whoever won. So Brad and Naya is going to be last. Now, when we get back to the house, Naya is still seething, saying Naya cheated. I'm sorry, saying Kayla cheated. Kayla was just like, I looked in your general direction. You were behind me anyway. Tries to make friends. Naya is very standoffish. They are not cool right now. What do you make of Kayla Casillas just cheating her way to a win and cheating the Black Queen Naya out of going to the final in a better position?
Now, I gotta say, the thing is I would have believed that she was glancing if she didn't stare. Because the thing is it wasn't like, oh, I was glancing in the general direction. It was a, what's going on over there kind of a look. And whether or not, like, it was blatant, it was. And because the thing is you saw how she would look at the board and then she'd go and put something down. So it's not like she was like, la, 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 thinking about it. She was literally like, oh, yeah. And she used what Naya knew on top of what she knew. So, yeah, I think she was blatantly cheating. My favorite line of the whole thing is where Kayla's like, I really value our friendship. And Naya's like, I've known you for 4 weeks. We're not friends. And I was like, shit.
Yeah, but you know what? The crazy thing is, I thought Kayla was actually being real cool about it. About not wanting Naya to feel bad or not wanting to have a beef with her. Was Kayla cheating? Probably. But guess what? Everybody does it. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Any kind of these little things that don't like break the rules in a super, egregious fashion.
Don't be blatant.
Is kind of okay.
You're blatantly looking and cheating.
People have been peeking at other people's puzzles forever. This is why Wes made such a big show when he took down all of his shit as soon as he got approached for it being right. Not that it matters, but you know, who cares? People have been doing this forever. It's expected.
Still, there's a way of doing it subtly, and let's just be honest, Kayla doesn't do subtle. She doesn't know how to be like under the radar for shit.
I didn't think Kayla did anything wrong, and I thought she really went out of her way to try to make amends and, you know, try to be cool with Naya. And Naya just sitting over there seething. She's furious. She's sour grapes. And Kayla said it best. You were behind me, so.
But you're still using maybe there's a few that, I mean, Kayla said she didn't remember any of it. So you're not going to say where you look at them and kind of compare and like, oh shit, yeah, that was, what was it? What would be on
Naya
it? That's how my brain works.
Naya should have been cheating off of her. But the way she went about it afterwards, instead of just saying, well, it's part of the game and moving the fuck on, she was super, super heated about it. And, you know, she was just like, oh, this person's not my friend, da-da-da-da, yada. And the whole time in my head, I'm thinking, there we go. That's the Naya I know. That's the Naya we all know.
I mean, she said it best, where she's like, she's lucky that I have grown.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, that's something that me and Naya have in common, so I get it. What she was saying is I am working very, very hard not to be a psychopath. Every minute of my being is work, and I know because I work in retail. And my whole thing is, I'd be sitting at work, I'd be like, you're lucky I'm at work. I'll just punch you in the face. Like, I know the feeling. Every fiber, exactly. Every fiber is being concentrated on not being a psychopath. You know what that makes you? A psychopath. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Love War Challenges. What's good?
How's it going? This is Derek Kaczynski.
So this is Paulie, and you're listening to Love War Challenges.
What up, Malik? This is Cara Maria. This is a shout out to the Love War and Challenges podcast. You're totally awesome.
Love War Challenges. For anyone listening to this, they're at LWC Podcast.
World's most dangerous podcast.
So after the whole Naya and Kayla blow up, we get a nice little scene of Kellyanne and Wes saying how much Wes appreciates that he gets to have this experience with Kellyanne, and they get to put a nice little bow on their experiences together from, you know, dating and falling out and, you know, back here competing again and going to a final, which I thought was really, really sweet. It was nice to see that, you know, they still are amicable and they can still, you know, care for each other. I thought that was really sweet. I don't really want to dwell there too much because there's not really a whole lot there. This season has been great at giving me stuff that I have not been expecting. So, the girls are all having fun. They're drinking, they're hanging out with each other, and Wes is over there in his underwear eating up all the carbs and electrolytes he can. Now, but Wes did make a good point. He said, everybody's out here, you know, they're chilling, they're having fun, they're doing this and the other. He said, I'm trying to get my diet and my body right because I know this final is going to be brutal. Now, was he onto something, or was he just trying to appear on camera in his boxers, trying to show off the West package?
I mean, he looks neon. Like, I feel like if I look at him, like it would burn my retinas. That is how pale that man is. He's like, boom! Ah! You can see him in the darkness.
He's
a light bulb. I mean, I know, but get a tan. Jesus Christ. But get a spray tan. Do something. Too pale. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I mean, I think that's Wes though. I think he just does it to be entertaining and funny. And the fact that none of the other girls blinked an eye and him walking around like that tells me a little bit about maybe that's how he's been walking around this entire time. So, I mean, the girls weren't like, oh my God, Wes, put on some pants.
No,
you know?
no, of course not. Wes is an absolute fucking unit. They should be honored to be in the presence of the great Ginger.
You know, when I met him for a whole 2.5 seconds in Challenge Mania Chicago, I literally yelled at him, "You're my favorite ginger!" And I ran away.
I'm sure he loved it.
He laughed, and then I heard him later on, he said America's favorite ginger, and I was like, I think he got that from me. I'll take credit for that.
That's dope. That's dope. All right. So finally, we get to the final. The cast is taken on a private jet. Well, I don't know if it's a private jet. Looks like one of those smaller, like Cessna planes or whatever. And
it kind of looks like one of those army planes that you take.
Nah, the army planes are actually like big. They're super big.
Well, I mean, there's no toilet. Like, well, what plane do you know doesn't have a toilet? You
those
poop
little
in a
Cessnas.
bag.
I mean, yeah, got pee in a bag. That was, we didn't really need that. But we got it. Thank you, Bunham and Murray and Paramount Plus. And so those guys go to a private island. And then TJ starts explaining the final. Says everything is going to be on a point system. Every checkpoint, how you arrive is how many points you're going to get. And at every checkpoint is going to be a head-to-head battle. I really like the way this sounds. And so then he gets to explain about the stars. And he said, if you have the most stars, you get to start off with 5 points, which is actually going to be pretty fucking significant. And it doesn't matter how much stars anybody else got, only the people with the most stars. So Nehemiah gets his 5 points. And who was it with the other 5 points? Was it Johnny?
Johnny, yeah.
Johnny gets the other 5 points. And so how you arrive is going to be 5 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, or no points, and you get 5 points for every battle that you win. Okay. So before we get into the final, how do you feel about this point system and how it's going to go?
I mean, they were told that those stars matter. So if people didn't go out to get them, it's kind of what it is. And even Wes said, he's like, I want to get more stars. This is going to be important. So I think it's a cool system. It kind of incentivizes and also gives props to the people who ended up having to go into eliminations and, punishes the people who skated.
So when it comes to this final, I absolutely love the point system for several reasons. One, they're going to be easy to track everybody's progress going through the final. And two, it eliminates something that has always been a center of controversy around the challenge. You know what that is? Yes. What does the point system remove?
Timers? I don't know.
Time. It doesn't matter how fast you got here. It doesn't matter this. Who got here first? Boom, you get the points. Who got here second? You get these points. It's great for that. People always talk about how in Final Reckoning, why did it go this way with Josh and Sylvia? Because it seems like, if you ask anybody, they'll tell you Josh and Sylvia won the whole entire thing. So this eliminates any kind of those questions, and it makes following everybody's place a lot easier. Go ahead and jump into the final. The way it's going to start off, it's going to be Wes and Johnny, Nehemiah and Kayla, Kellyanne and Mark, Brad and Naya. Everybody is going to be in pairs, and depending on where they end up after their head-to-head battles is how they're going to begin the second checkpoint. So they got to run down this runway. They do a lap around. On the way, they got to grab some keys. I was surprised because Johnny and Mark and Naya all seem to be getting a little bit tired more quicker than everybody else. I was definitely shocked a little bit with Johnny because even though she won the last one, you think some of that cardio would have been worked on a little bit more. Because people like Kellyanne is just breezing right through this. So that's going to be real troublesome for her because she's going to have a target on her. Mark's old, so being for the fact that he's able to keep up with everybody is an astonishing fact.
Well, they kind of preempted the whole situation when Kellyanne's like literally giving him like a back massage, and he's like, "Oh, I'm doing this at 50. Had to keep up with these young kids."
He's also getting a massage, so.
By Kellyanne.
Right?
Like, It's like, oh God, these massages always sound so bad. You're
Actually
so
need one of
tight.
those. You know, I've never had a real professional massage.
I hate them.
Really?
I do not like being touched by strangers. It makes me really uncomfortable.
I can feel that.
And it's not even like it's not even like I don't like women either. Like women, like strange women or strange men touching me. So both of those sides of the spectrum, I'm just like, please don't touch me. I don't know you.
You know what? I am going to do that when I get to Chicago. I'm going to get a massage.
Massages are great, and a lot of people really stand by them. And all of my friends and family want me to do more. And I was like, no, but it makes me tense up more. It doesn't relax me. Because I'm so like, ew, stop touching me. I don't know you. And this is ever since I was a kid. I just never liked it.
No, I feel you. You know, you always got the friends who's like huggers and they hug everybody. Like that's not me.
I'm a hugger.
See,
I'm a hugger with my friends. I don't like really hugging strangers.
Yes, I hug my friends and people I'm close with, but yeah, physical contact with other people too much is not really my thing. But moving on. Wes and Janae arrive at the beach, and you got to pick up a bundle of planks wrapped in a chain. And remember, first place is 5 points, second place is 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, 0 points. So at this time, it's going to go for the men. Nehemiah has 8 points, Wes has 4, Mark has 2, Brad has 1. For the females, Janae has 9, Kayla has 3, Kellyanne has 2, and Naya has 1. And I love this point system because if you come in first, at this point, coming in first for anybody who's not first changes the whole entire game. And I'm pretty sure that that's going to be a theme going forward. So the way it shakes up, it's going to be Wes versus Brad, Janae versus Naya, Mark versus Nehemiah, and Kayla versus Kellyanne. They have to use the key to unlock the planks, they have to build a raft, they have to paddle around the buoy, and they have to come back. Winner of this head-to-head is going to get 5 points. Going into this, I would have thought that Kellyanne was going to murder this.
She did so well in the paddle thing.
Yes. So her just, shit in the bed with this one. I thought Wes had a much bigger head start than originally thought because Brad caught up to him really, really fast. Nehemiah actually did really, really good at this. And Wes was remarking about how it doesn't look like it should work because it only has one side. And he's using one paddle while sitting down with his legs out. And he kills it. Like, he flies right through this whole entire thing. So
he had it pat. He was good.
Exactly. Wes gets to win. Nehemiah gets to win. Naya gets to win. And Kayla gets to win. After that, the points look like this. Nehemiah, 13. Wes, 9. Mark, 2. Brad, 1. And for the ladies, Janae, 9. Kayla, 8. Naya, 6. And Kellyanne, 2. And that makes this a very close game amongst the ladies, but only 4 points separate Nehemiah and Wes. These head-to-head battles. So I like this one. Now, this head-to-head battle seemed closer to a daily. I really think they can step this up a little bit more by making these head-to-head battles kind of based on the eliminations. Can you imagine one of these head-to-head battles was fucking Hall Brawl? Or one of these was Pole Wrestle?
You really can't do these.
I think you can. I'm not saying Hall Brawl is the way to go, but you can make it closer to what the eliminations look like. And not the eliminations that last for 30 minutes. You got to keep it quick.
The issue with these kind of situations is it is a matter of time, physicality, especially with the pole wrestle or a Hall Brawl, because you are looking at such a physical situation that you could feasibly really hurt somebody. At that point, I understand still having something that's a little bit more endurance and memory, which are going to be the hardest thing when you're running and you're exhausted and dehydrated. Your memory sucks. So,
right. But what I'm thinking is switch that shit up a little bit. Switch it up a little bit. If it's going to be head to head, make it really, really head to head. And like I said,
you just want to see people beat up.
It doesn't have to be Hall Brawl. You can give them, remember like American Gladiators, you standing up on the thing, you got 2 sticks and you try to beat each other off. You can do something like that. That's quick and physical, and the chances of somebody getting hurt is low. Let's go ahead and move on to checkpoint 2. The way these pairs are going to be, it's going to be Naya and Nehemiah, which is good because have developed a bond. Kayla and Wes, Mark and Janae, Kellyanne, and Brad. So this one, they're actually going through the trail. And then they have to run through this trail and they have to pick up a tandem bike. Why is there a tandem bike? Why? For what purpose?
To see if people can work as a team.
And these are like beach cruisers too. Why you got them on a tandem bike going through a fucking trail? That was just ridiculous. I'd rather have them put like, right leg and left leg taped together and you got to run together or chain each other up. A tandem bike, I was fucking pissed. We don't need shit like that.
I'm sorry. I'm just like in my mind seeing people like, remember when Casey and Fresh Meat would be running with the fucking chains on her bottoms or legs and I could just see.
Yes, exactly. Something like that. Or make the men have to carry the girls. I don't know. A tandem bike, nobody needs that shit. At least give them regular fucking dirt bikes or give them regular like off-road bikes or something like that. A tandem bike, it's clownery, it's foolery, it's rubbish.
Tomfoolery.
All this malarkey. Get this malarkey out of here.
He did not say malarkey.
So this one isn't going great. Brad starts to cramp. Wes and Kayla take first. Brad and Kellyanne is in second. Mark and Janae is in third. But it's at this point, Mark chain breaks. Which reminds us of what happened in the first season where his pedal came off. So once again, this dumb decision becomes even more dumb. And now they're going to have to jog it out.
They really are.
Wes and Kayla ends up taking first, followed by Kellyanne and Brad, Nehemiah and Naya next, and Janae and Mark come in last, which is not great for those two. Janae's lead is starting to slip, and Mark is already pretty close to the bottom of the barrel in this one. We get there, and we have a memory puzzle. A memory puzzle. There's 4 rows of a star sequence. You have to race down to an answer key, find out what star is off, and use that position of the star as a number to unlock a box. Mark is lagging behind. Wes isn't getting it done. Before I finish this up, let me ask you a question. Have you noticed like a lack of intensity during this final? Because
From
like Kellyanne was real. Yeah, Kellyanne was real lackadaisical during the jog. You hear a lot of people like, "Hey, you want to run?" No, let's walk it out. Hey, you want to run for this one? Or, Kellyanne just not even finishing the first one and is just waiting to get rescued on the raft instead of exerting energy.
Hi, thank you.
Do you
so
feel
excited.
like this lack of intensity on some of the challengers' parts, do you feel like that speaks more to the challenger themselves or that speak to how this final is?
I think a lot of people are feeling discouraged by the point system. And when they see they're not going to win, like there's just no way to catch up. Like she saw that Kayla was already almost done. She's like, why am I going to be like upset? It is what it is. Come save me. I'm stuck in the raft in the middle of the ocean. Help.
I think the point system is great. If you come in first,
I think it's good
and win
too.
if you come in first and win your head to head, that's 10 points.
I mean, I'm not saying I agree with you, but I can see where people would get like, because why am I continue to like hurt myself if I know I can't win the heat?
What's the final? This is a time where you go all out.
Again, I understand, but if you're like 10 minutes behind somebody and you just don't have the ability to catch up, like, it's like, yeah, you want to come in at a decent time, but you at least are going to finish.
Well, speaking of getting it finished, Wes once again is beast and shit. He gets it done, followed by Naya, Janae, and Brad. When it comes to the third checkpoint, the pairs are going to be Nehemiah and Kayla, Brad and Janae, Mark and Kellyanne, and Naya and Wes. And now they got to race to, I don't know why we're getting so much tandem kayaks. And TJ said the realest shit. He said finals have been made and lost on kayaks. We've seen it. Fucking up in a kayak can fuck your whole game up. It can dead your whole entire shit. It's happened to Jordan and Marlon. It has happened to Derek. It has happened to countless other people have gotten their whole ship blown up on kayaks. Zach almost got drowned that one time in a kayak. So
Those are free agents, right?
That was free agents, yeah. And that was scary. And this is where the episode cuts off on us. So we probably are halfway about the final. It looks like they're going to have an overnight session. But for me, I like the final so far. I'm loving the point system, but I don't know. I'm really not feeling the lack of intensity. I'm not really feeling like this is the hardest final. I feel like this. It's not. It's not the hardest. It's
not the hardest final ever.
It's not the hardest final.
Do you really think All Stars is going to have the hardest final though? I know they want to pretend that this is like the challenge, but let's be honest, it's not.
Well,
They're putting this towards an older age demographic. So
yes, listen, it doesn't have to be War of the Worlds, but I don't know. And there's no mountain to climb, it looks like.
And that's why I said with Wes especially, and with anybody who's had a recent final, they're more accustomed to how the finals are ran now. So they're going to be more conditioned than somebody who hasn't been in a final for 15 years, Who
do you feel like is going to be in a good position to win this thing so far?
I mean, I am holding out hope that Naya pulls this off because she is doing so good right now. So, the only person who can fuck this up is her.
She is doing good, but it's really tight among the girls. I think in the top 3, 1 or 2 points separates all of them.
Yeah, I think Janae is beating them by maybe 2 points. And
I really 15, 13, 12. Janae, Naya, Kayla.
Yeah, so it's really super close. And I even think the guys' races aren't that, far behind, except for Brad, which I feel like he's not getting any points at all.
Well, Wes and Nehemiah, only 3 points separate them, 18 to 15. Brad is at a 9 and Mark is at a 3. So Kellyanne and Mark are at the bottom of this thing. I was really shocked that Kellyanne is coming in so last. I thought she would really excel at this, especially with a lot of the endurance parts. So I'm thoroughly shocked that she's not doing very well. What's
her final? What's her final, history? I don't think she has a very heavy.
And that's not heavy, but she's done well in the finals. And she, it's not like she's done bad. She's a good competitor. I thought something like this would be tailored towards her.
She reminds me a little bit of a Devin. I'm just happy to be here and I want to finish.
Oh wow! And don't get me wrong, I love Devin, but the disrespect.
No, well, I mean, in Free Agents, she's just
that's different. Devin needed to accomplish that she was able to actually do this. We know Kellyanne can do this. She's not in that category.
I'm literally merely stating what I am seeing.
Listen, Jasmine might be in that category. I would say Janae would be in this category if she hasn't really beasted up on All Stars the way that she has. But Kellyanne is not in that category.
I am literally looking at Kellyanne phoning it in. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing her phoning it in.
I do see a lack of intensity from her. But Mark coming in at the bottom, that has to be pretty shocking.
Well, I think he's using his age as an excuse, which
you think maybe he just can't hang?
I think that he's, as much as he's physically fit, that maybe he's just not ready. And honestly, he did make a mention of, he's like a fucking semi. He's built really heavy, and heavy guys like that aren't necessarily the best runners because they have so much muscle. So it's one of those situations where I just don't think he realized how much running he was going to be doing. And the heat doesn't help. Humidity always makes the air super heavy, and it just makes it harder to breathe.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to wrap it for episode 9 of the Challenge All-Stars season 3. One hell of a ride. Really loved this episode. Started off with a bang. We got, a elimination at the beginning that was really intense. Not much house drama besides Nia throwing a fucking fit because somebody looked at her board. I mean,
Hey, Nia was nowhere near where she would have been that time. Like night and day. I was very proud of her. She held in all of the rage.
yeah, but we're giving out awards for not being a psycho. Like, that's kind of the standard.
Well, it's not necessary. It's because if you think about it, it's growth. Nia is not known for being able to maintain her temper. And she does the same thing I do when I'm mad. I will not look you in the face because looking you in the face makes me want to lose my shit. So she's literally staring at her hands, at the floor, at the wall, at the table, saying, "Call me shit."
I have no problem with that. She shouldn't have gotten so mad in the first place.
I'm not saying that it was a warranted thing, but I also know it's right before the final. And shit gets really intense right before the final. And you know, it's just one of those things where, I mean, Janae said it right. She's like, now you got to worry about your game. So now you're worried about where you are in the spot. And this chick may have fucked up your shit. So
listen, what's happened. Gotta just move on. Anything we need to touch on before we go ahead and dip?
No, just really excited, ready for this new season. I'm a little bit confused that CBS used no original challenge members. It is quite disturbing.
Yeah,
but all their reality shows.
The challenge has been renewed for 2 more seasons. We're still going to get our MTV guys, even though I do think our MTV guys should be able to compete for this like worldwide Challenge Crown Ultimate Challenge Championship. I think it's bullshit that they're not going to be included, but I think something's going to change there. We will have to see. I think it's going to end up being something like, you know, half of the winning cast from them is going to have to go against our veterans. I don't know. I am going to just, as kind of accept it as it comes. I mean, this is really like the best thing to happen for the challenge, right? The challenge world is expanding. It's getting bigger. It's being recognized as being the GOAT. Paramount got another show on here. I haven't watched it, called like All-Star Shore, where they brought a whole bunch of people from the different shore shows, and they have like Big Brother games.
The Jersey Shore people aren't they trying to do a New Jersey Shore period? And the Jersey Shore people are pissed?
Oh yeah, they got like a new one, like Acapulco Shore or some shit like that. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't watched it when Jersey Shore came back, so who knows? Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys all for listening once again. Becky, do you have anything before we get out of here? Why'd you look at me like that?
The way you said Becky, I was like...
I'm sorry, was I annoying you?
No, just the way you said it was just like, I was like, what? What did I do?
All right.
You talked to me like my mama talked to me.
My fault. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. All right. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LWC Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok at Love War Challenges. Make sure you cop your official LWC gear at shop.lwcpodcast.com. And of course, our website is lwcpodcast.com. Get your customizable challenge gear and accessories at shopthechallenge.com. And make sure you listen to the Love War Challenges on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app. That's going to do it for us. Thank you guys again. We're out of here. Good night. Oh, I'm sorry. Once again, I am MTV Malik. She is Becky at Giftmaster Bex. This is Love War Challenges. Good night.